Roscoe's Repairs. Today we're working on a 2014 Chrysler 200. We have a filter housing, which is basically where the oil cooler is, right above the middle of the V in the V6 engine. And it's leaking all over the place. Apparently the plastic one that they put in lasts about 100,000 miles. Then you get to go to the dealer and have them put a new one in. But today we're going to do it ourselves. Normally what happens is you end up getting oil coming out of the V in your engine. Somehow, mysteriously, it just starts coming out right in here, and you'll notice it dripping on the driver's side. That's a pretty good indication that you probably have the oil housing is leaking. Here's the filler. Here's the oil filter housing. Usually leaks right around this guy right here. It's just one of those things that leaks in these cars after 100,000 miles. We went ahead and replaced it with AutoZone's part that is a lot more dependable. It's a completely aluminum cast oil filter housing. The trick to doing this is you need to know that you have to remove all your antifreeze, because when you take that oil filter housing off, there's antifreeze that comes up through it. And if you don't have all the antifreeze removed, it will end up mixing with your oil. And then the next time you start your engine, when you get this all back together, it's going to mix with your oil because there will be antifreeze in your oil from this procedure. But if you can get all the antifreeze, well, enough of the antifreeze out of the engine that it's not coming out of that seal in the oil filter housing, then you'll be fine. The trick to that is, over here, conveniently located behind a million different things, sarcasm, note sarcasm, there is a drain for the radiator. It is right there. You gotta get your needle nose pliers in there or something and unscrew that. Then it drains out that hole right there, right into this conveniently placed bucket. The way you get more antifreeze out of your engine is you actually go down here and remove this heater hose. I called it a heater hose in the last video. It's not a heater hose, it's a radiator hose. See how there's a disconnect right there? I disconnected that radiator hose and drained it into a container. So when I went in and replaced the oil filter housing, it was down below the level where it was going to come out and get in that oil bath. So you want to remove the plenum, and it just, once you disconnect this hose, now on this plenum, there's a nut back here, there's a nut right here, and there are two up front, two 10mm nuts up front, two in the back. But the trick to getting this off without having to mess with it and fight with it is to loosen these studs down here. They're 13mm. You just loosen them enough to give you some playroom with this, and this will move out of your way so that you can get this to come forward instead of, because you can lift this up then. And this one right here, you remove it also. You don't remove it, you just loosen it enough again to pull it forward enough to get this out, and then this will slide forward. Once this slides forward, when you remove all these bolts, you can just take this, move it to the side. Now I've already cleaned this up. This right here, this is a little harder. It has two little grommets in the back, and then it's got a little push through right here that fastens into the plenum. But it's got these little, obviously I've already disconnected that. But this has two little rubber grommets that are received by those two pegs on the back of the valve cover. Now, one thing you need to know is these things have these little retainer clips. Well, these apparently have been in here so long that they're hot and they wouldn't come off. I was able to get this one off and these three in the front off. You have to remove the oil, you have to remove the fuel line. You want to depressurize the system. But once you do that and you remove the bolts in the intake manifold, once you remove those, You can leave those back two injectors and the injector rail, the fuel rail, you can leave it on, and you can just take this and fold it back out of the way. Now this new kit that comes with the aluminum upgrade, $299 instead of $249, but it's well worth it. It comes with this, it comes with the new fuel filter, again with the new fuel filter cap, and it comes also with the new seals for your intake manifold, top and bottom. So the plenum seal and also the intake seal. So the plenum seal is up here and the intake seal is right here. Because I went ahead and bought another kit for that, but then I realized it came with this kit. You do need to take off your oil temperature sensor, if it has it, and your oil pressure sensor. And you need to remove this. This is a heater hose, and right now it's sitting right here. I unplugged it and got it out of the way so I could drain that antifreeze out of it. But down here is where all your oil collects, and it'd probably take a good quart of oil before it starts pouring out. So you could leak a quart of oil before you even knew you had a problem. But that's what I used the siphon. I used the siphon to siphon all that liquid out of there. Down inside of the, I call it the oil bath, because on the old Chevy V6s it was called the oil bath, but this is external, obviously. Now, the aluminum housing, oil filter housing comes with new bolts, and it also comes with directions. So this is an 8mm Torx bolt. These are T30s, and you have to fasten this on. Comes with the seals, but this, again, it's new. It comes with it. A couple things that you need to have in order to remove these cables from the injectors and get them out of the way. You have to have something to pop these little guys out, and they go inside of these holes here. But the nice thing to do with that is use the upholstery tool. You can just get it underneath there and it pops them out. Another nice thing to have, well, you'll have to have these. You'll have to have a T30. T30s for fastening the oil cooler onto the filter housing. Then you'll have to have an 8mm Torx, because that's what the bolts are. The bolts are Torx, even the new ones that come with it. And you'll have to have, because the bolts torque to 106 inch-pounds. These senders, these sensors, they tighten to 177 inch-pounds. Make sure you're doing inch-pounds. So you have to have one of these little tiny, you know, baby quarter-inch. Looks like your little kid would play with it. But it's literally a little tiny Pittsburgh. I mean, everybody makes them, but this one's from Harbor Freight because it's real cheap, and it's a 1/4 inch. But that'll do it for you. Hey, good luck fixing it yourself. When I put all this back together, it's not going to leak any oil, and we'll be able to get another, hopefully more than 100,000 out of it, because got to keep oil in the engine to keep it running. You guys have a great day, and God bless.